I'm calling the meeting to order. Welcome to those people in the audience and online. I need a motion for adoption of the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any opposed? I need a motion to approve the minutes. Second? Okay, all
I'll
right.
jump in. I like it.
Any opposed? Okay, so moved. We're at unfinished business, and Mr. Boxley, you're gonna give us an update on wayfinding?
Yes, I am. Good evening. Good evening to those watching at home, and thank you all for being here. Our first item of business under unfinished business is related to our wayfinding project. We are inching closer to completion. We have had a little bit of a delay related to Apple's operating system that is currently rolling out a new platform. They do this about roughly every 3 years. This new update is said to be vertically integrating a lot of their systems, which will also include the integration of Apple Intelligence, which will also make it kind of obsolete as you integrate or try to integrate other systems into that Apple iOS. So our contractor is working through those issues. We're very close, but our remaining items will include our signage location at each of our stops along the way. And we're currently we're projecting an August 22nd launch date. It's projected because we're still, again, waiting to get the finals on that operating system complete, as well as to coordinate our contractor being present for that launch. And so, again, that's a target date, and I will have more information. We have a standing meeting with them on Fridays, and so I will be updating you as we move forward, and you will receive a calendar invite as soon as we have that date solidified. I also have within our presentation, I'd like to show you where we landed on signage. This is what each of the signs will look like. You'll have on the left side the download the Experience Gullah app. And then on the right side, you'll have the actual site-specific experience, and they each have a number at the bottom so that we have a coordinating number, and it will coincide with the website as well. So probably in the month of June, I sent out some information related to signage to get feedback, and this is where we landed. So this is headed to fabrication and installation at each of the sites once it's approved by our internal review process here at the town, which we've got that on an expedited scale. So I'll pause there and ask if anyone has any questions, comments.
Can you talk about how you're planning to market this? Is there a press release that it's up and running?
Yes, we will have, and I'm glad that we have a member of our communications team, the wonderful Miss Carolyn Grant here, that has been working with us throughout this process to queue up that press release and the launch. As we move towards that, we will also, we will have an official launch at the fishing co-op is our plan to host there on site in an evening format so we can get maximum participation, not communication, but participation from the community on that launch date so that we can run a real full-scale ad campaign. And our communications team is working very hard to assist us with that. So,
And I think it's probably important that board members are present.
absolutely.
That's a heads up.
I will definitely make sure that it is on your calendar as well as the calendar of town council. So, yes. Any other questions?
Thomas, I have a question on wayfinding. I noticed the Joe Pope Cemetery sign, was that up or is up now? Do you have something to do with that? Was that part of wayfinding?
I did not have anything to do with that, but I would not doubt that it probably spread through the community that we are working on identifying culturally significant sites, and churches and cemeteries will be our next focal point as we complete this first phase. So I'm glad to see that sign there commemorating that sacred space, and we will honor those locations in phase 2.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Mr. Boxley on this issue? I'm going to move on to new business. Terry Brubaker could not be here this evening, but I'd like to recognize his contributions to the CDC. He was a founding board member. He's been here from the beginning. He is very involved with this community, even though he's no longer here, and he's moved because of issues with his wife's health. And he found that he can no longer be an active board member. But Terry was somebody that was always available to Mr. Boxley, to myself. He had excellent ideas regarding the CDC involvement with the corporate community here. So we have a certificate that we will be mailing to Mr. Brubaker, signed by our Mayor, Alan Perry, and I'd like to just read it so it'd be part of the record. Certificate of appreciation presented to Terry Brubaker in recognition and appreciation of your outstanding service and dedication to the betterment of our community through your commitment as a valued member of the Gullah Geechee Historical Neighborhoods Community Development Corporation. Your contributions have made a meaningful impact, and we sincerely thank you for your time, effort, and leadership. So I hope we will be sending that out to him, and I know he'll appreciate it. And we wish him and his wife the best. Moving on to our new board members, we have one returning, Mr. David Ames, and we are so excited and happy and pleased that you are back with us. Oh, good. And we have a new addition and a female one. I'm happy about that too. There's a lot of testosterone up here. So, Sarah, I'm glad you're here. So Sarah comes with a wealth of knowledge about community, and she will be helped us as we expand our efforts as a CDC. And I'm really, really looking forward and really pleased that you're here. And they've both gone through orientation sessions with Thomas, so they're up to speed.
Honored to be here. Thank you.
Finally, I guess this is one I'll share with Thomas. I want to recognize Miss Sharonica Stewart and welcome her to the CDC staff. And with that, I'll let Thomas talk about what she'll be doing as a new staff member.
Yes, thank you. Effective July 1, which is now roughly 2 weeks ago, we welcomed Sharonica Stewart to our CDC team. Her role has transitioned from principal planner in historic neighborhoods to project manager with our Community Development Corporation. Some of the remaining items that will transition with her from the planning department will include the continued implementation of the recommendations that exist in the Gullah Geechee Land and Cultural Preservation Task Force. Just for a point of clarity, there were 37 identified recommendations in that study, 23 which are active, meaning that they are actively being pursued and have an active role currently within the framework and fabric of the community. Examples of that would be the Gullah 101 required training of town staff, as well as participation in the Gullah Heritage Tours. So identified in that task force report was continued cultural education on the part of town staff, and so this has become woven into the fabric of our operations from a new hire perspective, which I think is a very positive thing. She has also been very, very active in sorting through heirs property related issues through some of the functions of the design studio, which provides no cost site layout for members or for individuals that have property ownership in the historic neighborhoods. And so this is something that is of specific value to individuals as they look to develop their land and not having to spend money up front specifically on site planning. So this is a service that is offered through our planning department. This will be a way that we tie the CDC and the planning department of the town of Hilton Head close together. So I'm so glad to have her here with us and working through our program plan and working through our strategic plan. She's also going to be managing our Money Talks Financial Education Series, which kicks off our second year next Tuesday, July the 22nd. So she's going to be pretty busy, but we'll be working side by side to implement these and other initiatives as we move forward. So welcome, Sharonica. I'd invite you up if you have any words that you'd like to give to our board, and if our board has any questions.
Sure. All righty, Sharonica Stewart for the record. Thank you all, Board Chair Peterson, CDC as a whole, as well as you, Mr. Boxley. Thank you, guys. I do want to say thank you just for the opportunity to allow me to serve in this capacity with the CDC over the past year. I've had the pleasure of working side by side with Mr. Boxley on a few initiatives within our historic neighborhoods, and we've seen success. So I look forward to working with the CDC as a whole to move the strategic initiatives forward. Thank you.
Thank you for coming aboard.
Happy to have you here.
Happy.
Thank you.
I got one thing. So I ran into a Native Islander last night at Ruby Lee's. I'll give Tim a plug.
What time are you there? No, sorry.
Well, you know. He was all over me about wanting to do something on a piece of property that him and his father own here on Hilton Head, okay? And I think this is good for all of us. The first thing he said was, well, somebody wanted to buy the property, but what they wanted to do, the town wouldn't let them do, okay? And I didn't get into any particulars about what that was, okay? And he then said, but I really don't want to sell the property. I want to make sure that we do something with it ourselves so that my kids will have something down the line, okay? So obviously, not a developer, no experience in making something like this come to fruition, okay? And he said, I need your help. And I said, don't worry, I will get you in touch with Sharonica Stewart, who will help you, okay? So it all ties together. You know, she's definitely a great asset to us, and being able to connect back to those that are looking to do something for longevity when it comes to generational stay here on Hilton Head is so important. So thank you for being here, and I'm sure that you will help us move things along.
Absolutely.
May I piggyback on that? We mentioned the work that you've done helping people site plan. Triggered a thought in my mind, driving up different roads. I've noticed a significant increase in the number of trailers on properties. That makes sense in the near term, but trailers become obsolete, and transitioning into permanent housing may be an objective for Native Islanders to consider. If it is, I wonder if there isn't something the CDC can do to create a fund, a matching site development fund, that might allow owners of property to more quickly transition to the kind of housing they prefer. If they don't prefer to change, that's their business. But I'm just thinking that there may be a mechanism not only for site planning, but site development with matching funds to accelerate that process.
Absolutely. I think that would be great. One thing I will share just quickly and easily, to piggyback off of what you just said, oftentimes when I am working with private property owners, finances are usually the biggest hurdle. So if we could find a way to make that happen, I think that would definitely be impactful here within our community.
I think it would meet a broader island-wide objective as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Roxy, you started to talk a little bit about the financial education program. You want to continue?
Yes. We'll move right into item D, which is our round two, year two of our financial education series titled Money Talks. Again, I'd like to throw a plug out to our communications team led by Miss Grant here, who sent me a message, or actually called me this morning asking, have you sent out a email? Have you been plugging the flyer? You know, it's a week away, less than a week away. So thank you, Ms. Grant, for continually advocating and advertising on our behalf. But our financial education series last year ran from July through November, and it was very well received. It meets our strategic action goal number 4, which is increasing access to capital and financial education opportunities. We are very thankful for our partners in this, which are TD Bank, as well as the Hilton Head Island Recreation Center as our location. And they've been great partners to work with in delivery of these events. To add some context, as a direct result of our activities in financial education, last year, 3 new business checking accounts were opened, 2 merchant services point of sale accounts were opened, 2 personal checking accounts were opened, and one $50,000 small business line of credit was open. So while these are baby steps that we're starting out with, these are results and they're tangible. And so we're looking forward to growing this as we move forward. All of our sessions, again, will be hosted at the Island Rec Center, 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m., 20 Wilborn Road. And our dates this year, as you see on the flyer, July the 22nd, fraud awareness, which is a very big deal these days. August the 19th, lending and navigating access to capital in a changing climate. September the 16th, we have an opportunity here where we are creating a new partnership with the University of South Carolina School of Law that will come in and present to our entrepreneurs and small business owners about the legal aspects of business ownership. And then we'll have a tax professional there to present on the other half about the tax implications of owning your own business. October the 21st, we have non-traditional lending. This will feature the Climb Fund, which is a fund based out of Charleston, South Carolina. Non-traditional lending, they can fill the gap, often filling the gap where traditional banks are not able to underwrite loans. And so I think that this is, they presented last year as well. And so this is a welcome addition to our funding infrastructure. And then on November the 18th, again, emphasizing the partnership and the strength of the partnership that we have with the town of Hilton Head, doing business with the town of Hilton Head, procurement strategies. And we'll feature some of our members from the procurement department and the finance department that will be there to answer questions and assist our small businesses in walking through the process of becoming registered with the town of Hilton Head. So that's our layout for our 2025 financial education series. We're excited. It kicks off next Tuesday, 5:30.
I love the topics. The topics are great, especially the fraud. That is.
Yeah, I was curious, Mr. Boxley, of the topics, were any of these sort of generated through discussions that you had at the last series?
They were, yes. That's a very good, actually the November 18th session was one that kept bubbling up about, well, how do I get into procurement with the town of Hilton Head Island? That's one. And then I've had some conversations with some of the young professionals in the community, and it was related to taxing. And how do I structure my business appropriately so that I'm not in trouble at the end of my operating year, my fiscal year with taxes. And so I'm excited also about the relationship that we're forming with the School of Law at the University of South Carolina too. So I'm really excited about this program moving forward, and I want to make this part of our infrastructure on an annual basis. So yeah, this is going to be a good year. And as you can see in the flyer, you've got Councilman Brown sitting in the back there.
That's who that is?
He's getting some information about starting his business too. So, but no, this will be a great series. I'm pretty excited. Yes.
Thomas, I welcomed your synopsis of accomplishments. Dave, does the community know about them?
I have not gone on a victory lap, if you will, about that, but maybe it is time to do a victory lap. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Question, are we tracking what happens? We have the new businesses that started with the last class. Are we doing any kind of follow-up or tracking of those businesses?
I have been doing some follow-up, some personal follow-up. That's a very good point. Now that I have some help, and you know, another strong advocate for business in the community, and she and Ms. Stewart actually has been working very closely with some of the young professionals in the community as well. So this will be a very, very strong connection point as we move forward and look to collect more data, you know, related to the accomplishments that we're able to achieve through this program. Yeah.
What other questions or comments do you have?
Yeah, you know, just because we're coming off our strategic action plan discussion last night, you know, keeping those KPIs, right, so that we see what's happening every year, and that's how we judge the success or failure of whatever project it is that we're working on. But from a standpoint of the businesses that open up and creating that database, to understand the trials, the errors, the tribulations, the successes that they experience, should be able to be utilized to help modify this program and make it better as we go on. So I would really string on that. And also, you know, I'm sitting there thinking about, you know, the leadership class that the Chamber of Commerce does, right? You know, get some of the Native Islanders in there. There's the ambassador program through USCB, you know, utilizing these other avenues to really get involved in the community aspect, and because that's something that's been a challenge over the years, and I think that could be a great stepping stone to help improve that. So.
I agree with the mayor. You know, quite often, you know, in my line of business, I will run into people that are visiting and they have no clue that other folks live here. I also run into people that have lived here for years and never know that color people have lived here. So the two organizations that you mentioned, they are continuing to bring in new people to the area to get a better understanding. So if we can make a connection there, I think that will serve us well. Yep.
And I'm certain there's other organizations as well. I don't want to leave anybody out, but those are the two that came to mind.
Gotcha.
Comments or questions for Mr. Boxley? We're at item number 7, and I need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Opposed?
Okay, me too.
Motion to come out of executive session?
Second? Okay, any opposed? There was, a lot of information shared, it was a good session, but we have no action from executive session. I need a motion for adjournment. Any opposed? We adjourn.